Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and I wanted to go over this story because there's a lot of digital cyber warfare and ransomware that's going on that's outside of the public view. And there was a report on Saturday that every single US location, I believe, went down for Target. Now, Target is a huge retailer. That means 1,850 Target stores had registers that went offline for 2 hours. But they are insisting this was not a data breach, not a hack. It was some kind of a bug. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Because can you imagine the amount of revenue a store like Target loses being closed for 2 hours nationwide on a Saturday? I mean, it's got to be in the tens of millions at the minimum, perhaps hundreds of millions of dollars. So if this were some kind of a cyber attack, ransomware, they would want to keep it hush-hush, but they'd also probably want to pay it very quickly to get up and running because they're losing so much money. And that brings me to this story. The Baltimore ransomware story. It still has not been resolved, and I'll bet most of you haven't heard about it unless you were watching We Are Change and News for a Change, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago when we covered it. And for those that don't know, these attackers took over internal computers in the city that caused any kind of a property deal not to go through. So all these different properties that have been sold or being leased or have some kind of paperwork to go through have been in limbo. And the ransomware attackers originally only wanted $78,000 or $76,000. And the city considered paying it, even talked about consider paying it at one point because they gave them a deadline. Well, they didn't pay it apparently. And they're still recovering the data. And some city workers still are without computer access. And they believe, I think this was June 6th. So they're hoping, I think by now that the majority, June 12th. So by the end of this week, June 18th, 19th, they think that most people will be up and running. We're gonna go over this.
Inching closer to getting back online weeks after hackers took hold of the city's computer systems. Those spearheading the recovery say most city employees have had computer access restored by the end of the week. Kimberly Eden is live with the very latest from city leaders for us this afternoon. Kimberly.
And Nicole, city leaders say 95% of city employees should be back online by the end of the week, but Baltimore's residents will still feel the aftershocks of this ransomware attack for months to come. Hackers have held a tight grip on Baltimore's computer systems for 36 days, while cyber experts try to bring the city back online.
Think about that. 36 days. 36 days. They've caused a ton of financial damage and hardship here. That's a lot. 36 days. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sweating. It's hot here. It gets hot in upstate New York in June. So here we have cyber hackers not being brought to justice. By the way, they think that they may have posted on Twitter that they leaked documents through this. That's how sophisticated, but they're still not caught. And even when they are supposedly back up and running with recovery, we're not sure what's lost. And 95% will be updated. How is this not a huge national story? It should be a massive national story, and it doesn't seem to be one. It seems to be in the backdrop. And one of the other cyber attacks that was really in the backdrop, forget about the possibility of this Target thing being an attack. They're denying it. I just want to be clear. I'm just pointing out that if it were an attack, perhaps paying the ransom quickly was something they thought they should do. That's all I'm saying there. But did anybody really realize, did a report on this, right before the inauguration, hackers took over DC police cameras. No one was concerned, and they were supposedly Romanian. This was like actual foreign interference, cyber hacking into 123 of the 187, 187 cameras were actually infected. Okay? That's insane. And again, it wasn't really a national story. People were not in an uproar about this. How did we get to a Nixon story? How's that happen? Oh, it's just so everybody knows, Washington Post covered it as well. All right. So we had all this infrastructure hacked. We know that our government tracks, traces, and databases everything, that they've been in bed with the telecom companies since the late 90s. Look into Hepting versus AT&T. It's something I've covered ad nauseum on this channel. So in more respect, it's worrisome to me that groups like this can act anonymously and now for over a month take over a large city's infrastructure like Baltimore. And they are saying, well, 95% might be back up. I'm not even sure what they recovered. They kept this so hush-hush. And 18 million seems like a low estimate to me. And it also should be alarming that while they sit there and talk about Russians interfering with the election again now in 2020, that's a mainline talking point. That's what we're hearing again and again on both sides of the aisle. You know, when it's brought up to the Republicans, they cow right down. Oh, it's a major concern. When we talk about it with social media, oh, it's a major concern. We can't let foreign nations hack our elections. But we don't want to talk about supposed Romanian hackers taking over D.C. police cameras just before the inauguration of a president? That doesn't scream some type of espionage? And with these ransomware attacks, I don't know if many people are familiar with ransomware. Once it's taken over, your hard drive is basically encrypted. It's not like you can just take it out of the machine. Hey, it takes a large sophisticated tool. Some of these things can't be hacked or cracked by brute force attack. All right? Learn to code? Thank you, Test Monkey. I am not a good coder. I'll tell you that. I tried doing just the basic coding stuff in college. I'm much better with the software like the XSplit and the Adobe and all that other good stuff. But back to this technology, we have to be very, very aware that a lot of these things are going to take place and are going to be downplayed. So there is a possibility that this downtime for 1,850 different targets nationwide was some kind of a bug. I guess it's possible it was some kind of a bug, but could it be ransomware? Well, I guess time will tell. We know these type of companies have covered these things up in the past because let's say it was a data breach. How many people have a Target membership or a Target card or shop there on a regular basis or have used their credit card or have their big, they already sell your big data. They already have profiles run on you, how many times you go there and what you get. Same thing with Walmart. Same thing with all these different companies. I remember when I worked at an MSP company, a managed service provider called Directive. You would look at these, what they called big data and big analytics, and they would openly tell you they were building profiles on people. This was open information. You Google it right now. It's out there. And it's only gotten more sophisticated with the magic devices in your hand and ACR, automated content recognition software, ASR, automated speech recognition software. And yes, they're using your cameras as well. We've gone over it. We've shown you the people talking about it at Alfonso, one of the leading companies that puts this software into all sorts of other software. See, it's not just built in to the device specifically. It's built into that game that your kid's playing, the TikTok app, the Snapchat, all that stuff. Believe the hype. While you're sitting there with a phone in your face, making sure you look like a dog, and it's snowing, and you got, angel wings on and some halo of flowers, just know that all that screen time you're spending, whoever you're conversing with, however many times you took that selfie to make it perfect, all that stuff's being profiled. You are in a track, trace, database society. So when all this stuff gets hit, yeah, that profile on you also gets hit. That's in a privatized fashion. Forget about, state-sponsored hacking, China, Russia, all that exists. Don't get me wrong. But it could as easily be people within the United States who are just looking for things to grab and then extort with. Look at the Dark Overlord. Look at those 9/11 documents. That's exactly what that was. That was an extortion operation. That was nothing else. Doesn't matter what tomorrow's news today told you. Oh, they had the documents since day one. No, they were the court documents that were absolutely hacked. And these same hackers are not benevolent. They went into plastic surgery archives to get topless pictures of celebrities. That's how this is working. This is evolving. So, folks, if you like this video. If you like real subjects, we hit over 20K today. That's right. We're going to be doing the 20K AMA at 9 p.m. in a little bit over an hour, where I'm going to be taking all of your questions, making some big announcements. Already kind of told you some of the things I'm going to be talking about in the previous walk and talk, the Sunday stroll down Main Street, if you haven't seen that. Did some amazing videos today on DARPA, on New York State, and of course on Iran, some of the biggest issues out there. We talk Pompeo here. We talk Nexium. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Join the Burmis Brigade right now. Share this stuff on social media. And guys, I will see you at the 20K AMA in about an hour. Thank you all.